Um, I was a midwife for 17 years. In fact, still am. I delivered a set of twins two weeks ago. And so I don't do near as many babies now. And I'm grateful for that, as well as for every delivery I've been to. That is a very high stress, exhausting profession, especially the hours. So I'm happy to do just a baby or two every now and then now. The redox found me really when I was very ill. I was not doing well in my health. 2015, I noticed a mole on my leg that didn't look right. And I felt fine. But when I had it checked out, I found out that I was really in trouble and I needed surgery immediately. So they did that and I thought we're good. A year later, I had a lump appear above that incision, and I knew that wasn't supposed to be there. It was really just about the size of a marble. But by the time I went back to the doctor a week later, there were 3 marbles. And so when they did another biopsy, I've learned a lot. I wouldn't do that again. But when they did it, I found out it had come back and spread. And they called me the worst stage. We'll just say it that way. I was not expected to live. My prognosis was fair. So they put me on a medical treatment plan that I didn't want to do, but my husband said, yes, you're going to do it. I was still working full time. I owned the birth center. I was doing 6 to 16 births a month. I didn't have time to be sick, and I certainly didn't have any sick leave. You don't take off when you're the owner. So I began the treatments. The 3rd one killed my pituitary gland completely and put me in ICU. When I survived that, I got out and the specialty doctor said, we won't do the 4th treatment because it would kill you, but you have to do 1 of these 2 bags of IV fluid every month for the rest of your life. And I said, I don't know how crazy you think I am, but you just nearly killed me. And I'm not doing any more, period. No more. So I went on a search. Being a midwife, I thought I'll find something natural. So I began to look for all the alternative treatments to help my body recover and heal from the damage that had been done and from the original issue. And when you're in that state, it's so much in your head too. You know, you don't know if you're going to make it. You don't know if you'll see your next birthday, or you watch your kids have their babies and all of the things that you want to be around for. So, but I tried to keep my faith high and pray and believe and continue to work. And about for 16 months, I looked and didn't find anything that helped. In May of 2017, my nutritionist handed me a bottle of Redox and said, this will just make you feel so much better. You'll be so full of life. You'll feel so grounded. And I said, well, just give it to me, Angela. Let's don't talk about it. And so she signed me up, and I took it home and tasted it. And she was in the process of moving, very busy and new to the business too. So I don't think she really understood a lot about it. And when I tasted it, it tasted like a swimming pool. And I went, I cannot believe she duped me. She absolutely duped me. She signed me up for some dumb network marketing thing and gave me a bottle of pool water. So I was upset and I wouldn't answer the phone. Jim Glenn was her upline, and he would call me and text me, and I wouldn't answer because I didn't want any part of it. I didn't want anything to do with network marketing. I didn't want to be in anything else. My hands were so full with my birth center and just my health, trying to keep my head above water. By that time, I had had a knee replacement, and I got the Redox in May. I had a knee replacement in August because that knee was so torn up from the original surgery. You know, it's just, you're sort of spiraling downward. And so I was a mess and I hurt and I was exhausted and I couldn't stay up past 6 p.m. because that's when the steroids wore off that replaced my cortisol. So when you make none, you die. So I have to take something. But it would stop. It'd be done at 6, and so was I. So I'd go to bed every night, cry when I had to get up for a birth, start calling people on the way downstairs to come help me and help me get through it, and blah, blah, blah. So very negative 16 months. We didn't do anything social or even go out to eat for that period of time. So in December, now I have looked at everything, spent $20,000 more. The treatments were $150,000 each. I mean, everything was just so expensive. And I was pretty low. I mean, like losing my will to live because nothing was working. And I felt bad all the time. And Jim Glenn called again. And I always say there were 2 miracles that day. Number 1, I answered the phone. Number 2, I told him the truth. He asked how I was, and I said, I'm not doing good. And he said, are you drinking the Redox? I went, no, I am not drinking that stuff. It tastes like a swimming pool, and I don't even know what it is. I'm not going to drink it. So he explained to me what y'all just saw, what you know now, redox signaling molecules are and how miraculous they are. And my response was, well, that sounds too good to be true. So it probably is. I do not believe you for a minute. But by that time, I had 7 cases stacked up because I signed up in May. It's December. I had never turned off auto-ship because honestly, I wasn't thinking about that. I was too busy, heading too many other places. So I said, I'll try it because I've got 7 cases here and I can't return it. I'll drink it just to show you it's not going to work like everything else hadn't worked. Would you say I was a little negative, skeptical, cynical, ugly? I was all of the above. And I apologize to Jim often. Every time I tell my story, I tell him how sorry I am. So grateful that he was persistent for 7 months because honestly, I would not be here if he hadn't been. I began to drink the product. He told me it was non-toxic. And I said, okay, if little's good, more's better. I've got to drink this stuff up anyway. So I started with 2 ounces twice a day and doubled it in 3 days and doubled it again and doubled it again and doubled it again. And by the 3rd week, I was probably drinking 28 to 32 ounces a day. And I was wrapping Christmas presents. It's in December. And my husband walked in and said, do you know what time it is? I went, no. He said, it's 11 o'clock. And I said, it's 11 o'clock and I'm still awake and I feel good? He said, it's 11 o'clock. I went, oh, Lord. So I went to bed praying, God, please don't tease me. Don't let me get my hopes up if this isn't really helping my body. If it is helping my body to heal itself, I'll tell everybody and I'll give you all the credit. But I can't handle getting my hopes up and being disappointed again. I had tried too many things. I mean, everything that was out there. So I was on the edge. So the next day I felt good again. And 2 weeks after that, I was rubbing that gel on my knee because I told him I would. And I had a tube in every case. So I had 7 tubes of that too. So I was rubbing the gel just as I said I would. It didn't feel like anything, didn't smell like anything. I didn't notice anything. We didn't know about 3-in-1 at that time. So I thought it was doing nothing. And I'd say often, this is the dumbest thing. I don't know why I'm doing this. This stuff is not doing anything. And then I got a phone call 2 weeks after I stayed up late. And they said, you got to come downstairs quickly. I lived above my birth center, 10,000 square foot building. I lived above it. And so I said, okay, I'll be right there. And I trotted to the bottom of the stairs like I was 15 years old. And I had been going down bad leg first. You know how you do when you're injured. And when I got to the bottom, I went, oh my gosh, I just came down the stairs that way. I have not come down the stairs that way in years. My knee doesn't hurt. It's not swollen. It's not stiff. I cannot believe this. So I went into the birth center I always say, like the man at the pool of Bethesda, I was jumping and leaping and praising the Lord and telling everybody, look at my miracle. I can run up and down the stairs. I feel good. I've got energy again, and my knee works. I just couldn't believe that my body was healing those two very different areas. My pituitary gland is up in my brain. You can't get a transplant, I checked. And then my knee my knee replacement, and that's a joint, such different areas, but both were recovering. And so I thought, wow, they mean it. It really does work on everything that has cells. And then my next question to myself, after everybody that I talked to said, I want to try it. I want to feel as good as you do. Will it work on fill in the blank? And I go, they say it works on everything with cells and it's 100% guaranteed. So try it and see. And then I'd have them call Jim because I didn't have time to mess with it. So he handled helping me sign people up. And then I thought, what else do I have in my office, in my practice, that's 100% non-toxic and fixes everything? What do I have? Nothing. I didn't have an herb, a vitamin, a supplement, an oil that was 100% non-toxic. So I began to educate my girls on it and use it on them. And then we began to have amazing pregnancies and beautiful deliveries. I was holding my breath the first one, but they all were so awesome. So I kept statistics, and we have absolute proof without doubt that this makes 100% difference in how things go during pregnancy, delivery, and postpartum. And so that was a blessing. Then a year or so later, I saw the specialty doctor, and he said, Donnelyn, you are a mystery to me. And I said, why is that? And he said, because you're sitting in this office. Well, what do you mean? He said, you shouldn't be alive. There's no way you can be here. What you had was in the highway, the organs. You don't get well, it doesn't go away. But your labs are perfect and your scans are perfect, and I don't understand. I said, well, I've got a lot of people praying, but remember me telling you about redox signaling molecules? He went, oh yeah, you can take that stuff if you want to. I went, no problem, I'm going to. So he and I just agree to disagree, but I am 100% healthy. I'm about to celebrate my 71st birthday, and I feel better than I felt at 45, and I'm probably more active. We're preparing for another 5K the day, well, 2nd of April, not April Fool's Day, but the day after. So this is amazing. I have life again. Just to be alive is a gift. But to be alive and feel good, I've always said I don't mind getting old. I just don't want to feel old. I don't want to spend the end of my life sitting in a rocking chair, watching the world go by, wishing I could do something. We have wisdom and things to share at our age, in this age group, you know? And I mean, a lot of you are much younger than me, but when you get here, you'll have things to share and you will want to share them. But we can't do it if we're too sick to get out of bed, you know? So I am thrilled with my life and my recovery, and I do give God all the glory. This has been a gift that I feel like He let me live to help other people understand so that they could live too. So that's what I do now full time, and I love it, and I get to sleep at night, and I love that. And this is amazing.